Hi, my name's Salis Hickey, and I'm an anime researcher and specialist in hybrid animation development headquartered in Tokyo, Japan. This series of interviews with leading Japanese anime and Western cartoon industry professionals is a component of my research project titled Exploded View, a slapstick anime collaboration. Allow me to briefly explain the project's background. The Japanese anime industry is enormously successful in Europe, the United States, and beyond, particularly in action, fantasy, and adventure genres. However, Japanese animated comedy in the slice of life kids' family space struggles to engage Western audiences. To maintain its position and long term relevance, this culturally significant anime subgenre must become a more exportable version of itself, capable of resonating with a global fan base. To that end, through practice-led research, my project explores the potential of a novel slice-of-life anime slapstick hybrid as a possible internationally exportable solution. In these interviews, I asked some of the industry's brightest minds about the possibilities and limitations of anime slapstick as a creative and economically viable answer to dwindling domestic audience engagement in the Japanese kids' family anime space. The following interview was recorded in July 2022 with anime journalist and researcher Tadashi Sudo. Sudo-san's the editor-in-chief of the Animation Business Journal. He's also a professor at the Japan University of Economics Graduate School in the Entertainment Business Department.
Yes, this thesis is very interesting. Yeah, certainly Japan anime is booming. Many people say, but it's very limited for boys, for young girls. Does not include kids or dramatic anime for adults. It's not popular in world.
Right. You think it's mainly shonen boys action that is successfully exporting internationally?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because a big part of my research is concerned with shows like Doraemon, Sazai-san, Chibi Maruko-chan, Crayon Shin-chan. What happens to, as Japan's population declines, what happens to these shows in the long term?
Obviously, there is one or two reasons. Certainly, Japanese kid population is declining. Kids family anime connect to TV rating and consumer products. But kids population is declining. Kids family anime don't get high rating. And anime product not so big market. Of course, there is Doraemon, Sazae-san, Crayon Shin-chan, Chibimaru-chan, but many of their market is not only kids, but adult and their parents. If we can, we make a new kids family anime. Many parents don't know their program.
Right.
Yeah, it's difficult to produce new kids family anime, I think.
Okay, that's really interesting. So right, so because the parents would have grown up with a lot of these shows, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Parents and grandfather, grandmother.
Yeah, that's true too. Like Sazai-san. So,
Kids anime is not for kids. Three generation anime, I think, I believe.
so really, if we're talking about exporting like Kotomomuke to like, the US and Europe, you would really need to make it much more contemporary theme.
But I think it's very difficult to harmonize Western market because many major titles of Japanese kids anime include a context of Japanese culture. Many Japanese fans dislike to harmonize Western market. I believe Japanese kids family anime export to Western market. We need to new series.
Yeah.
But new series is very difficult business in Japan now because market is not so big. So.
You're right. So you would need to make a separate international version that would probably just exist in the US or in Europe, because the fans of the Kodomo Miyuko shows would have an issue if you take out the the cultural backdrop, like Japanese slice of life. If you take that out, the fans of those shows in Japan will not like it, right?
And I think many Japanese producer watch to Asian market. Asian market is more similar to Japanese market.
Yeah.
They want to export China or Southeast Asia, not include to Europe and Western market. I remember Doraemon producer to try to export to USA to Japan, but it's not so success.
Do you know why?
Maybe culture problem. Many US people feel like not different for their culture.
Yeah, right. Because it's based on Japanese slice of life. If you're talking about Doraemon, it's like it's literally set in a suburban kind of Tokyo generic Japanese setting, right? So the only issue with, for example, Crayon Shin-chan worked pretty well in India. There was some compliance issues and stuff. But some of those shows, yes, like work very well in Thailand or Singapore or China. But the problem with that is the revenue is not so great from the APAC market. So that's why I'm thinking the US or Europe, if a show gets traction, can make a lot more money. That's kind of the problem. What percentage of new shows in Japan every year come from just purely original production? Because so much is adapted from video games, from manga, etc. So what percentage is actually purely original from like independent studios and stuff?
It's difficult to decide what is original. It's only my feeling. It is under 10%.
Right. Does that come from individual creators and smaller studios, or where does that generally come from?
Many of them come from independent studio itself. They have a creative staff.
Right. Would it be fair to say that it's difficult for an individual or smaller studio to get a new project greenlit for production if it's not adapted from manga, if it's not from a video game, if it's just a purely new? Is that difficult in Japan?
Yeah, it's difficult, but it's not impossible. Many producer and creator always think they want to make their original program. Many staff have original idea always. Sometimes production company or committee think they need to make an original program, not for adaptation.
But it's unusual that there's not more in that case. Is it because the market just doesn't want to take so much risk on, because it's obviously much more risky for an original?
But many people want to challenge always.
Right. Because if you compare the US or Europe to Japan, Japan is quite unique with this committee approach, don't you think?
Yes.
Yeah. And so I wonder if there should be more people taking more risk. Because it just seems like it's so risk averse. Do you think that will change moving forward? Do you think it's going to change?
Yes. Power of anime industry is changing dramatically now. Dentsu Hakuhodo power is declining because they don't have a platform, they don't have a broadcast, and business is changing. Voice action or girls anime monetized from almost platform.
Right.
Platform is not so connected with Dentsu or Hakuhodo. And broadcast company is declining power also, but they have a big power now. But now I think new power player is obviously platform, Netflix, Disney Plus, and also published company in getting a power, Shueisha, Kodansha, because they have a good content. Content is a king. And some big studio, famous studio like Science Star, Mappa, getting a power now. Because in Japan, studio is limited. There is not enough creative staff.
So, do you think shonen slapstick hybrid or Kotomobuke hybrid is a better idea?
Shonen is a good idea. Shonen market is very good. Not only for boys, but girls and also adult. I think best idea is hybrid boys anime, but high teen or young adult can enjoy that.
Yeah, okay. Okay, cool. And then I just have a couple of other questions with regards to the current anime boom. How long do you think this boom is going to last?
I think Japanese anime boom is shrinking near future because Japanese anime dominate to adult animation. Now, many anime studio in the world, China, UK, Europe, making adult animation like Japanese anime style. Anime is still strong in the world, but not to dominate this area, I think.